Okay, so one thing that was interesting after seeing Far From Home, and I know you guys think based on a thumbnail, some of you might think this is for MCU Spider-Man or Raimi's Goblin, I mean. That's not what this is. This is comics, Green Goblin. But anyways, I just used the picture because it's hilarious. But a lot of my friends, I have a lot of casual friends in real life, right? They don't really read comics. They kind of know some of the stuff, but they don't read it a lot. I saw the movie like 3 times. Obviously, it's my damn job. I'll be making MCU content on the coffee shop. Go subscribe. But they all basically said the same thing, like, yo, why did they make Green Goblin so savage? Like, why is he so messed up? Why is he such a horrible person? Like, I didn't know Green Goblin was that terrible. I'm like, what? Green Goblin's always been horrible in the comics. So with that being said, shout out to everybody that's a fan of the Green Goblin. And if you're a fan of the horrible things he does, smash the like button. We get this to 600 likes. I'll drop part 2 because he has so many moments. I honestly, there's so many to go through. So with that being said, keep in mind, I didn't forget moments. They just got left out for future Goblin videos because I can't fit them all in one video. But I hope you guys enjoy this. Go ahead, settle in, and without further ado, let's begin. First time we're going to talk about is when Norman Osborn had to vibe check Ben Reilly for forgetting his place. So if you didn't know, Ben Reilly is a Spider-Man clone, okay? He's B-list by virtue. He doesn't really do shit. A lot of y'all probably don't even know him or read his stories like that. With that being said, he pulled up on Green Goblin, thought that shit was sweet, and proceeded to get absolutely mauled by Green Goblin. And when Spider-Man showed up to save him, Goblin grabbed him and was like, oh, look, the real Spider-Man is actually here to save you because you're trash. So yeah, this, I mean, there's several moments where he's vibe checked B-listers, but this is one of the funnier ones. Next, the time, so a lot of people know him because the new Spider-Man movie, not really spoiling anything, but the boy Dafoe as Goblin was amazing in it. And they kind of know him for Raimi's Goblin. And that one died to the glider. Well, in the comics, he's too much of a goon for that. Yes, he indeed gets struck by his glider with what should have been a killing blow. But he's got too much shit to do, and his healing factor kicked in. And he actually tanks what kills him in the movieverse. And the fact that the movieverse version is a goon and gets casually outgooned here, straight up, is a big W. This next moment you will see, and unfortunately, something that's kind of common for this character when he runs into Goblin. You might never have heard of him before. Swordsman. He is a B-list, probably C-list. Obviously, given his name, he's supposed to be good with swords, right? Tell me why he ran up on my boy Osborn. Osborn grabbed him by the throat, lifted him up, took his own sword, and skewered him with it. I'm talking about as disrespectful as it can get. That's like taking Green Arrow's bow off him, an arrow off him too, and then just folding him right there with it. Like, it's like as disrespectful as you can get with their own shit. So yeah, I definitely had to make the list. Next, the time he folded a Sentinel for trying him. So this is actually pretty crazy because Sentinels are not easy to bring down at all. Most of them, even the low tier ones, are capable of taking down most X-Men team members, including giving characters like Colossus and Wolverine a really hard time. And he pulled up on one and he's like, yo, robot guy, suck a dick. And then he just throws his damn glider at it and blows it up. Like, just hits it in the face, blows its face up, and one-shots the Sentinel. It was funny. It is important to note that he dropped a bar at this point in time and said, in your eye, robot guy. So definitely got to give him credit for a bar. This moment is kind of just like paying homage to the fact that he is one of the biggest threats to property in Marvel. Like, in terms of just being a dude that's gonna run up the bill for insurance and for characters having to replace shit getting blown up on the street, Green Goblin's up there. The dude just rolls around, and if he thinks at any point causing chaos by blowing random shit up will help the cause, he's dropping a pumpkin bomb. And he's liable to say something corny to you, like, eat pumpkin. So, yeah, like, he definitely, just the fact that he's always blowing shit up, include mostly random people's shit, is hilarious. Next, another Swordsman moment. This was super disrespectful. So, Goblin's beating the shit out of Swordsman, what's new? And Swordsman at one point is like begging, and he's talking to himself, and he goes, "Oh, mother," like basically begging for his mother at the near end of his life. And Goblin goes, "Yo, you real shit, you don't have a mother. What you had was a fat pig. This fat pig spit you out, and here we go with your bum ass." And just blows him up. Disrespects the shit out of his mother. Calls her a pig in a very elaborate way. And then blows him up. Very disrespectful. And like I said, really only knows Swordsman for getting beat up by Goblin. This moment has to do with his origin, right? Like, he's been a goon from the start. He's one of the smartest characters in Marvel in terms of his scientific knowledge. And one of his colleagues was in prison. And basically, Osborn, he saw some notes, right? And he was like, "Damn, this formula looks hella dank. I'm not gonna lie to you." And he's like, "My colleague's in prison. He really can't say anything, really can't do anything with this. Why don't I get buckets in his honor with his work?" Hits the lick on his partner, right? The formula blows up in his face. It goes horribly wrong, produces the split personality with the Goblin. Suddenly we have the Goblin who thinks he's literally the realest to ever exist, and he's the GOAT. One of the funniest villains you'll ever see. But yeah, his origin, even off rip, he was a hooligan. Next moment is basically, there's a couple moments stemming from this battle, but he's pulling up on Spider-Man, right? He's fast as shit. It's dark out. There's a lot of rain. In this fight, we basically see Spider-Man have an inner monologue where he says, first of all, he can't really react to what Goblin's doing. Goblin is just stupid fast. But he also says, basically, Goblin has a crackhead style. Completely unpredictable. And even though this is like their 1000th time fighting each other and scrapping, it doesn't matter. Like, he doesn't know what the hell the dude's gonna do because he's crazy. So his crackhead game plan style definitely deserves a nod. Next, let's talk about the fact that he's low-key either mind-hacking the writers and editors, or he's, I don't know how to explain this, but it's kind of funny. If you go check his fact files that basically give his stats, they do give some graphs with like power, intelligence, energy projection, all this shit. You go read some of his different fact files and guidebook pages. His height changes. In some, he's 5'10". In some, he's 5'11". Is the boy capping about his height? Let me know in the comment section. But yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. Like, why did he hit a growth spurt of an inch? Like when he's a grandpa? That's crazy. Is he is he built different? I don't know. But yeah, let me know. It's kind of funny to me. Next, the time, this is kind of going back to that battle in the rain. We find out he's a fat shamer. Yeah, so he's fighting Spider-Man, right? And like I told you before, the battle wasn't exactly going in favor of Spider-Man. He was kind of getting his ass beat. And so Goblin's like, "Yo, you're dumb, you're lazy, and you're fat. And that's why I'm beating the shit out of you." And like, he, of course, you know, this got a little bit of a rise out of Spider-Man, but Just the fact that the boy's fat shamer. Like, cancel the dog. Like, he's a horrible person. But yeah, he was even the skinny guys like Parker can get fat shamed by him. It's crazy. Next, the time Human Torch ran up and learned a lesson. So, if you guys didn't know, historically, Human Torch and Parker do kind of get along, crossover, all this stuff. Both are kind of, you know, have their immature ways. But regardless, at one point, Goblin's running up on Spider-Man trying to fight him, right? Doing hood rat shit. And Human Torch pulls up. And Goblin's like, great, I'm trying to run the fade with my main list fighter. And this off-the-grid guy is trying to ruin my day. Let me deal with this shit. He hits Torch with this weird-ass gas. And almost incapacitates him immediately. Like, within a panel, it was life or death for Human Torch. He literally was like, yo, I think I might have to go Nova. Keep in mind, this is just Goblin trying to get him off his ass. He's not even trying to, like, he didn't prep for this, like, crazy or anything. It's just something he had on him. and he had Human Torch, like, fighting for survival. It was comedy. Next, the time he saw through an illusion. So, this is a lot crazier than it looks on the surface level because it's dependent upon who cast it. First of all, if you didn't know, the boy Osborn at one point was like had a shield, ran the Dark Avengers. He was doing crazy shit. And we'll talk about this a little more later in the video. But at one point, Doctor Strange casts an illusion on them. First of all, it's Doctor Strange. It's strong immediately. Osborn sees through it. Not only that, though, it was a spell including and invoking the Vishanti, who are some of the strongest gods and godlike figures in all of the Marvel cosmology. So the fact that he was like casually saw through it and was like, yo, Doctor Strange is wilding again with illusions is absolutely absurd. Next, the time... Oh, this is disrespectful. If you're watching this live stream, F in the chat for Namor. This is a bad L for Namor. So, Namor has this ex-girl, right? This ex-chick of his, Marina. And Osborn gets the file on Namor, finds out about her. Tell me why Osborn took Namor's ex-wife, turned her, like, permanently into her animal state or whatever, basically a monster state, and weaponized her. That's right. He turned Namor's ex-girl into a weapon of mass destruction and then unleashed her on Atlantis. That's it. That's a tier 4 goon moment if I've ever seen one. That's so disrespectful. And he casually did it and was talking about it while sitting behind his desk relaxing. Next, the time he ended the hype. That is Black Widow. So, of course, one of the main things that gives Black Widow clout in her verse is, like, one of the top, obviously, spies, intelligence officers you'll see. This is big for her in terms of being, like, very sneaky, high on getting away, and just overall one of the best stealth agents in the game. With that being said, Osborn captured her and was like, yo, just want to let you know, I've been styling on you this whole time. And she's like, what? And he's like, yo, I tricked you. I pretended I was Fury. I made you look dumb. You went for every play I did. You went for every move. And she was like, yo, you really tricked me this whole time? And he's like, yeah, you casual. You bum. And she was like, yo, burn in hell. And he was like, yo, you're going to hell. And I just showed you how to get there faster. And it was an absolute savage moment in which he completely ended her clout. Next, you're going to see one of the most messed up clout PR moments ever. So, if you didn't know this, I learned this. So, basically, every Goon video, Jobber video I make, I pretty much learn something about the character. Sometimes it's a lot. So, with that in mind, I didn't know he was a god of PR in the worst way. So, he was like, yo, Dakin, you're acting like Wolverine, but everyone knows you're a horrible person. Facts. In fact, all of us are horrible. We need to get your clout up. What he did? He planted bombs in buildings, blew them up, killed multiple people, but planted a living baby for Dakin, however it goes, to go in, pick up the baby, and walk out with it looking injured, messed up, all that, looking like a savior. That's right. He slaughtered buildings of people to make Wolverine's son look good in PR. That's just terrible. And finally, we're kind of gonna head off this as the final moment of the video because part 2 is gonna be crazy, and I know y'all gonna run the likes up. We have the time that Norman needed to get people off his ass, right? Like they be on him. They're trying to connect him to Goblin. He needed to make a play. He hires an actor to pretend to be Goblin, right? This Goblin actor kidnaps his 5-year-old grandson and makes sure he's seen running off on the plug with little Osborn, right? So he takes the baby, and then Osborn pretends to be traumatized. He's like, oh my God, we'll meet any demands from Goblin. We just want our kid back. I can't believe this is going on. Yeah, he jeopardized the life of his 5-year-old grandson just to make sure the public was off his ass about him being the Goblin. So, with that in mind, guys, do you think he's as savage as Raimi Goblin? Do you think he's as funny? I certainly think he is. I think he's pure comedy, and I hope you guys hit the like goal so we could drop part 2 sooner rather than later. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out the coffee shop, my second channel. I'm going to try to get up some videos today on there before New Year's. Happy New Year's to everybody. I had a blast making this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. But anyways, see you guys later, and have a safe night. Peace.